This morning, sun kissed my face. Grab my coffee, life's a fast-paced race. I know. I put on my shoes, but no stops or waste. Headed out the door, no stress, no stress. I'm feeling good now. For my groove and sake, a brand new day just left again. Easy Monday motivation. Time to slow it down. We keep moving to the sound. Easy Monday motivation. Feeling the rhythm, it's deep in my soul. Fantastic energy got me in control. Oh, hear the beat drop, you know we won't stop. Trust the process, climb me to the top, the top. We're in the air, so I need some more. Each step forward, easy Monday motivation. We touch new ground, positive. My body, that's all right. Drawn by feel deep, line. Easy Monday motivation. We are all about so good to do and get the feels good. No time to slow it down. We keep moving to the sound. Easy Monday motivation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Easy Monday Motivation. It is your homeboy E of Scotch with E, of course, with the crew that makes season 3 be what it be. Johnny, my liege, and my guy CT. How you guys doing?
What's up?
It's good. How we doing?
Yes, back in it. So, guys, if you didn't know, we are on season 3, episode 44. We've been moving, okay? Like, we've been moving. You know, we have more episodes than I have years in age, so I'm pretty proud of us, right?
Me too, but barely. I'm coming up on that. The number of episodes.
I mean, let's just hope that we make more episodes. We
can't stop until you get to mine. So we still got a whole. We got a whole lot. Of
We'll get to your number.
Finish it.
I mean, he's laughing pretty hard.
We'll get to your number in season 4, sir. Most likely.
No. Come on, all day. He coming out today.
Okay, now that's true.
Starting the episode off. You started it off.
Bringing in Mr. No. So I do want to check it.
No.
How do you tell the difference between Mr. No and his cousin No?
One of them has an exclamation point. One does not.
Okay.
So
like which one is
mounts? Sometimes
which one is?
Sometimes you don't.
Okay. So the cousin has the exclamation point.
No.
Mr. No does. Okay, I just want to know. I just want to make sure I get the right one.
So we know the difference.
Y'all don't even know the difference. Just know they twins.
They're not twins. You call them cousins. Which one is it?
Twins. They're cousin twins. You never heard of cousin twins?
Never.
Cousin twins? No.
Cousin twins. Yeah. Where?
Wow.
Where have you heard of cousin twins?
Well, I just made it up.
I know you did.
That's where it came from. Cousin twins. It's going viral. Cousin twins is going viral.
It better not. Because listen, ladies and gentlemen out there in the world, if any people got cousins that look identical, I'm sorry, you might want to be getting your genealogy checked or something.
Oh, no, I might be able to find some.
Hey, song Pop was a stone. Wherever he laid his hat was a song.
I ain't playing with you.
Oh, he had Cousin twins. Did you hear that song? In that the song goes? That's not how that's not how
you made that up too.
No. No. All right, but what I think is that the cousin is the one with the exclamation point. I think the cousin of Mr. No has Tourette's. That's the reason why he has the exclamation point. But we're gonna move on because I don't want to know more about No.
It is about wellness today, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. So I do want to check in with you guys and see how you've been. You know, I know we've knocked out the first 3 episodes, knocked out August. We are in
and in the chair, he knows.
We're trying to be able to find, I don't think it's that hard to find some cousin twins.
I think that's listen. I don't know. I mean, cousins that may look alike, yes, but you're talking about cousin twins, like twins, y'all. Think about the concept of twins.
I'm gonna find it.
Me and my brother are Irish twins just because we share the same age for a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then there's the twins that are born at the same time and don't look the same, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then there are twins that look the same, right?
Right.
Sure.
So you're creating a new bucket where people look exactly the same, but they don't have the same mothers and fathers.
I think we can find some.
And we're not calling them doppelgangers, we're calling them actual twins.
Yeah, we're calling them cousin twins.
So wait for it. I asked Chat GPT what are cousin twins, and AI shared with us that a cousin twin refers to 2 cousins who share a close bond, resembling the relationship between twins. The term is often used to describe cousins who are very close in age, have grown up together, or have a special connection that makes them act or appear like twins. I can go on. Although they are not siblings, their strong bond can make them seem inseparable.
What you just read is any cousins in the Black family.
Thank you.
Exactly. And they may share similar experiences, interests, or physical traits. Thank you. It's not even that I didn't pick it up, but AI said there is some place that it exists. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would like to introduce to you on the Easy Monday Motivation Pod, the twins.
What is going on?
All right.
All control.
No, we didn't. No, it's okay. We got to let him get this out because this is exactly what he does. So, all right, just want to make sure that we cool. All right, I'm glad that you were able to find a definition for cousins on ChatGPT and just put the word twin on there. But that's fine. I saw exactly what you read. Ain't nobody falling for that. He was like cousins. He said chat.
In the United States is listening to this, is celebrating. If you are listening, if you are a cousin twin,
National Cousin Twin Day,
where you are in the world, just do a heart in there, do a 100 in there. Just make sure. I want to make sure you feel validated too. You know what I'm saying? Right. Regular twins, and then cousins, but cousin twins, listen, they've been left out. So in the spirit of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I am including cousin twins on our pod today.
Quatarian twins. This is just dumb. I'm not falling for none of this. Okay, whatever.
I'm into it.
I'm done. That's all right.
Okay.
Hey, hold up. All right, you know what? Shout out to all the cousin twins out there. If you're a real cousin twin out there, please make sure that you show love. Comment in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Send pictures of you and your cousin that look identical. We're gonna make this happen because cousin twins is a new thing. We need a National Cousin Twin Day, and we want to start it with CT because his cousin twin's name is Cam.
My cousin twin's name is Cam, and it's appropriate that the episode number is a cousin twin, 44. Listen, I'm just telling you, this whole show is just full of twins.
Ain't nobody.
I'm happy about
Johnny.
this.
Johnny, you okay? Because
don't I get to update
I thought you was gonna give an update, but you start talking about cousin twins. We done spent 10-15 minutes on cousin twins.
This is an Easter egg because one of our guests this month is one of my cousin twins. So this is kind of like an Easter egg.
So she used it. So listen, it's
the
only moment, bro.
I already said, hey, I already agreed. I said, shout out to the cousin twins. I already said that. I'm good. Look, I'm not gonna fight it. I don't have one. Fine. Who cares?
Right. Beautiful. We're gonna find you one.
No, I don't want one. I don't want one. Don't give me a cousin twin. I don't want one. No, I don't want that.
Everybody needs a good cousin twin.
I don't believe you.
And maybe because maybe it's my jet lag. I've been in Seattle and we just got back. Great trip. And Miss Mel was with me. So check it out, y'all. So Mel was with me. And one of the worst things you could ever have happen is something happen with you physically and you have to go to a doctor or a hospital while you are not home. So we're 2,000 miles away and Mel was having some abdominal pains. And so we had to spend some time in the ER. Later this last week. She's good. She's fine. It was like I told her, I said this was just an attack of the enemy. That's how it had to be, just messing up our time together. But she's better. But man, when I tell y'all, it was like, Lord, what's this copay gonna be? And like, I'm out of network. Like, no. Yeah, I'm out of network. It was and we were off, and you never want one of your, your loved ones, and most specifically your spouse, Johnny, not feeling well when you're away. But the blessing was she's all better now, and we made it back home after the flight in was 10 hours to get here because of delays in the storm. And then the cyber attack at the Seattle airport. So it was so on the way in and on the way out of Seattle, their airport was that experience was long.
Oh, I bet.
But I called it 10-hour blessing. And the one on the way home is that we made it home, even though all of the boards were down in the terminal and whatnot. It was messy, y'all. It was real messy, but it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. So,
well, shout out to Queen Mel. We're glad that everything is okay with her. Sounds like you guys were not, you probably were sleepless in Seattle the whole time. So that doesn't bode well. So hopefully you guys get to rest, not have to go through your jet lag. But I'm also happy that she only had to spend a little time in the ER and did not have to go into the IC. So,
and by the way, because the hospital was under construction, we were in not just a hallway. It was a whole thing, y'all. So there may be another episode in our wellness series.
It sounds
physical. It
was good. It was good.
Okay. I just realized why my mom named me Eric, because she worked in the ER and she also worked in the intensive care unit. So ERIC. I think I get it. All right, cool. So Johnny, I'm gonna check in on you to see how you're doing. How was your week? No, you don't get nothing more. We done spent 20 minutes on cousin twins, and then you gave your update. So
a whole episode, bro.
You're okay. Happy Mel's okay. Happy that she had. Shut up.
Oh.
Why is he not Timberland? Why didn't you pick Timberland at least? At least we'll feel better. Like, don't give me the subpar version of me. I'm better than that guy. I'm just playing.
I love this show. We started off just the way we needed to.
Oh my God. So crazy. So Johnny, I do want to see how you been, but doesn't seem like
I don't even know what to say anymore. I guess good. No, everything's been all good. It is, school is in full fledged. We're back in the grind in the Easterling household. So I'm glad that the holiday is here, and so we got some time to chill. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, the oldest this is her senior year, so it's like college planning and getting ready to take some college visits and all of those things. The youngest is in softball. Ace is still being a wonderful dog, just how he is. Things are good. Things are good. CT, don't you do it. I don't want to see that button.
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna let it happen.
But yeah, things are good. I think he's locked up. That's why he hasn't bust down this door yet.
I think he's locked up. That just sounds so.
I know.
Hey, he down there with his Akon on. They won't let me out.
Every time I see him in there, I'm gonna think of that.
They won't let me out.
Who did it?
Oh man,
poor Ace.
Yeah, my guy. And shout out to the puppy power of dogs. I think we had I think we did celebrate National Dog or Puppy Day. Shout out to my good friend Robin Hanson, who lost her puppy recently. Shout out to Snapples. My man Snapple. I did get to hang out with him, you know what I'm saying, in San Antonio later. So happy Memorial Day though, like right? Like today's Memorial Day, right? Like would we not be
Labor
Day.
You one of those folks that get Memorial and Labor Day mixed up too?
No, I'm doing this on purpose so I can be like, what day is it? It's not Memorial Day. I mean, I can read, but it's not Memorial Day. Because doesn't Memorial Day kick off the summer?
Summer, and then Labor Day is putting it in.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear somebody say that. It wasn't me. See, guys, I was trying to restart summer by saying it's Memorial Day, but Johnny wanted to be the person.
It's over. It's over. Summer's over.
It's gone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, all right, I guess it is Labor Day. Well, whatever. I like the fall anyway, so it make me no difference. I mean, for all you, that's what I'm saying. All of you summer people, all you summer bummers over here, like it's not hot outside. Guess what? It's nice outside. Now we can be outside and not melt. I like it.
Have you been outside? Go ahead. It's all right. Yeah, we transitioning still.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about fall overall, though. You know what I mean? Like summer, you get those 80 days. Like, and now we're getting into fall, so you'll have cooler days, and it may heat up, but it's going to be cooler in the morning. You know, go out, nice do your run. Yeah,
it's really nice mornings. I just hate that the fall just seems like it's just cut so short because by the time we hit Halloween, it could be snowing, but you know what? We're not going to talk about that.
Nah, because we ain't gotta worry about that because don't forget it is bar season. September, October, November, December.
I do love the bar.
And you see where I sit at the bar. So it's season. It's the AOC season. Let's turn up. All right. So for my check-in, guys, I've been pretty good. Same old, still working through some things. My son is in school. We've been videoed and, he started classes and stuff. So it's really interesting to watch my son in school trying to get himself together. Like he's putting his little Facebook post out with his little scooter of day 2 in class. I'm like, a scooter in the corner? What is that? Doesn't tell me what happened in school, but I don't get it. Like, and then it was like day 2 in class. I'm like, is a picture of his shoes, and I'm like, maybe it's exposition. I don't know, or saying like it's artistic. I don't know. So
that what it is?
I have no idea.
He went to class. That's what he was trying to prove to you, that he went to class. That's what it was.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care if you went to class. I care about them grades. Okay, I'm coming for the grades.
One just like chicken and egg. You need to be in class to get them grades right.
I know that, which is the metric that I'm going to measure him by. Because if you're not in class, you ain't getting good grades, then that's going to be a tail.
That's what I mean. That's why he's sending it to you to throw you off the scent, to make sure that maybe if my grades wasn't the way they're supposed to, I can always come back and say, but Dad, I was in class. I just didn't understand all the things that I needed to, but I was there. See, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and that's fair. He can say those words. Will I accept them? No, because his dad, since he's been in kindergarten, has told him there are 3 metrics that I'm paying attention to when you're in school. One is tardy. The other one is zeros. And the other one is missed assignments. If you have any missed assignments, you have any tardies, you have, any zeros, this means you gave no effort.
Yeah.
None.
That's over from the education a couple of weeks ago, last week.
That's my, since I worked in the schools, it was easy for me to go, what are the baseline metrics that tell you whether your kid is doing something, right? Mm-hmm. Those 3 tell you everything. If they tardy, that means that they're not focused. That means they're running behind. They're probably late, whatever it is, they're not focused. If they have missing assignments, that means they're just utterly failing to execute on the basics. Then if you have zeros, meaning that they gave no real effort to an assignment and they got turned in anyway the way it is, then you wanted me to come in and get all up in your rubric because it's time for me to grade your behind. And I named the boy Duty because it was my duty to whoop his booty. So yeah, he's doing real good. I'm really proud of him.
You know what he wasn't tardy for?
The party.
It was an e-choke. I knew it was an e-choke. Okay, I'll be good now. That was a lie, but I knew you were coming to it.
You know, good. Party. All right. So yeah, everything's good. My guy Lemmy is doing real good. He got a lot of buttage over there. The fish are looking real good. I did just do a major clean and switched out the pirate ship and put the coral reef back in there. So my fish babies is all right. And, you know, my personal life is pretty cool. I can't complain. I got to hang out with my family here recently. Seen a lot of movies. Johnny, you got to see all of the movies that are out. I know you're missing them.
I am.
Alien was pretty. That last Alien movie was all right. I like that. I saw This Ends With Us, which was very interesting. It's a movie about domestic violence, and abuse. And like I watched the movie, and at one point you couldn't tell whether the woman was actually abused or she was making it up or something. They did a really good job of not letting you know what was really happening until the end. And then like the replay, you're like, oh, so he was actually doing it, because you couldn't tell that something was happening. It all looked like mistakes, right? But yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy movie. I enjoyed it. And at the end of it, you know, while she's holding the child of the man who had mistreated her, and she's just like, this ends with us, because she had experienced her mom going through it and she went through it. Like, so I thought it was really good. So guys, I'm just throwing it out there. Make sure you take time to go delve into the arts. Theater's real good. There's a lot of good movies out, and I'm really pumped for the Transformers movie, because that takes me all the way back to my childhood. Before my man Optimus Prime was ever Optimus Prime, his name was Orion Pack. Woo! Yeah, I know I spoiled the movie because ain't nobody going.
Movie.
No, I didn't spoil the whole movie. I mean, I made up.
And I haven't even read the book, so it's
but I'm not gonna read the book. So if you read the books, then you probably already spoiled the movie for yourself. And I personally don't care. This is not a movie review channel. I'm just free to give my updates.
Any movies.
I'm allowed to spoil whatever I want. I'm giving my update. I said I had fun.
That's not cool.
It wasn't the Transformer movie that you spoiled. Now I ain't got to go see the other one now.
It's not out.
You know the whole thing that's out there. What? Yeah. Oh, what's that? What'd you say?
The Transformer movie ain't out yet. So
I know.
Can't spoil that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I didn't spoil the other movie that I told before that, right? I told about two movies. I spoiled one that I know most people ain't gonna see because it's not a like commercial movie. But the other one, Alien, was pretty good.
It Ends With Us. I want to see that movie.
You should, and then we can talk about it so I can get your perspective, because I think some things I just didn't get, and maybe I was wrong about what I saw.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I would definitely want to see that.
Okay. But I like if you notice, I did say like you couldn't tell what was happening, like you thought something was happening, couldn't tell. Maybe it seemed like he wasn't. All right, go watch it and find out what really happened. Just trying to build some intrigue. All right, so today we are continuing our conversation of generational conversations, but we have a new thing. We have moved past education because your kids are already in school, your kids are already in college, we're already in the bar season. So we need to talk about things that matter. And I'm going to kick it over to Johnny, my liege. She can take us into this topic.
What kind of transition is that? That was funny. So now we need to talk about things that matter. Like them kids, let them just go. We done fooling with
y'all know what the saying is about kids.
What?
Them kids.
Yes, got that right. You sure got that right.
Them kids.
Yeah, so this month is all about wellness. It's probably one of my favorite conversations for a number of different reasons, but we'll kind of get into that a little later. But so I have like a little pop quiz for y'all, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get them. So there was a doctor who developed these 8 dimensions of wellness, 8 dimensions of them. Can you all name all? Do you think you can name all 8 without cheating and looking on your phone? Because CT, you looking down. You was looking down for a hot second. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't at your phone. 8 dimensions of wellness. So some of them are like probably pretty obvious, right? So physical wellness, throw that out there.
Are you helping us, or we really got to guess?
Yeah, you got to guess.
Okay.
Physical.
Right. Physical wellness. Mental wellness.
Okay, physical, mental. All right.
Emotional wellness.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
Uh-huh.
Spiritual. Financial wellness.
Financial wellness. All right. Got 3 more.
Occupational.
This is true. You cheating a little bit.
I'm not cheating. I'm not.
Wait, we only got 2 more. Come on now. Got
Not
occupational wellness. All right, sexual wellness.
No.
Oh, I gotta get something wrong, don't I? I mean, geez.
And I'm so immature. Why did I laugh? Why did I laugh?
Libation wellness.
No.
Relational.
Relational wellness.
No.
Relational.
Close though. Close. Cam, can we just show him? Because he's gonna start saying some crazy stuff. So let's just show what we got here.
Environmental, intellectual. Okay.
So yeah, environmental and intellectual and social.
Huh. So
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
So
the ones we got wrong. So the ones we got wrong, or the ones we didn't know, were social and environmental.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. Yep.
Well, I wasn't going to count environmental wellness because I thought that was a part of libation wellness.
Oh, and why is that exactly?
Because
explain that. I want to hear
have you seen me at a party when I'm on libation?
His name is Scotch with E.
And that environment be well.
That's right. Because you know what? You do know how to put on a good party. I must say so. A good get together, if I have to say so myself. So I'm not even going front on that one.
Well,
I thought those were so interesting because some of them I wouldn't have necessarily thought about. But throughout this month, we're going to be, touching and discussing some of those topics when it comes to wellness. So since we're talking about generational, I just want to ask y'all another question too. Though, in the generational conversation, how was it growing up? Was it a conversation at all around wellness? Because I feel like right now we're talking about it more and more often, which is a really great thing. But what about when y'all were growing up? Did you talk about this at all?
Now, the term wellness, like all terms, catch fire when there is some advantage that the system can have connected to that term.
Oh,
so
come on.
There is a benefit to being able to have the term wellness be in multiple ecosystems and amplified and elevated in conversation so that you can align something around your bottom line to it. That was my politically correct way of saying what I said without saying what I said, but y'all understood what I said.
Right. Oh, we definitely.
Yeah, but growing up, I don't think that was a term that was in our home. We may have said, how are you spiritually, or how are you physically, or and in many ways we didn't have the how are you emotionally because that's what the belt was for. And so, like, if there were ways that we managed what our wellness was in a very, very different way than how you manage it today. But
that is so true. I remember we all had a conversation. We were sitting outside, it was like me, Terry, and the girl sitting around talking, and Jay says, sometimes I just feel like you guys don't care about what I think, care about what I have to say. And Terry said, oh, you're right, because we don't. Like, okay, now I get it. We were on 2 separate pages. We don't care.
I love you. That sounds like the AOC at the end of last week's AOC. We don't care.
We don't care. That does sound like it. We don't care.
I love it.
Yeah, that was so good. E, what about you?
No. The whole conversation kind of traumatized me just thinking about back in the day when wellness was used, and so we never used the word well ever. Like all right, so this is how bad this is. Okay. When you use the word well, it only reminds me of the fact that my now departed father could not read, and there was a fish sandwich store on Livingston, Ohio Avenue. And that man used to tell us that he told us we was going to that fish place to go get a whale sandwich. Yeah. And he was dead on telling his kids that we was about to eat a whale sandwich, like a real live fish sandwich made of whale. Okay. And he was like, yes, whales this whole time. And we drive up there, and now you know how I am. We pull up and I look up and I said, Dad, that says a whale of a sandwich. So that's the only thing I think of when I think of whale, because this man took us to get a whale sandwich, and it said whale of a sandwich, and I was like, that says whale of a sandwich. So I stopped using the word whale after that.
Yeah, that was it.
It traumatized me because I was like, my dad don't know the word whale.
You weren't well, were you? You weren't well.
I never was well after that. So,
oh my gosh,
wellness was, and I agree with CT. Like, wellness is a newer concept because it ties to social constructs that people can benefit off of, or you can tie narratives to. Like, no. I mean, when you needed therapy, nobody called it mental wellness or emotional wellness. Nobody called it that. They just said you're getting help.
Therapy.
Yeah, I mean, therapy. Oh my God. Like, wellness, psh, man.
Please.
Yeah. So no. Yeah.
But even though Johnny, even though and I think there's something real here. There's always things don't just show up, right? They've happened. They've just not been in certain communities, or they've not been socialized in a way that would allow us to have used it properly.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't have context for what real therapy was, because it was something that was faux pas in our community, or at least generally speaking. And so sometimes the things like wellness don't get life, one, until the system wants it. And then two, I think for us, it became something more real when we started seeing it wasn't crazy Uncle Mike at the family barbecue. Like, something was really wrong with him.
Yeah.
Right. And we didn't have language or have words to that. And so because we didn't, we called it whatever, and we called him crazy. And now that we have context that there's something happening neurologically, something's happening physiologically, something's happening psychologically. Like, there's all of these allergies now that we have context for. It now gives us the ability to give it a place to land, and then we now have a way to talk about it so that it doesn't judge or demonize somebody, but it puts him in a place where we can say, hey, there is language that, one, I don't want to diagnose you, but I want to at least give the ability to know that we've got something common we can talk about, so we can treat it, so we can deal with this, so we can address it. So
and also too, like, we've had a very complicated, I guess that's the correct word I'm gonna use today, complicated relationship when it comes to the medical industry, whether it's physical, mental, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen, especially in our community, where there was a lack of trust there. So that's why that was a crazy Uncle Mike or whoever. And I did have a crazy Uncle Mike, shout out. But there were some issues happening there, right? And so that's why we have that he's just upstairs at grandma's house, or whatever the case may be, because we had that lack of trust within our community, because we just didn't know what could possibly happen to our family members. When I think about my wellness journey, I think about when I turned 30, around 30, I just had both girls, right? Alex was just born not too long ago before that. And I just had to do something. I've always struggled with my weight from the time I was a little girl on up, always struggled with it. And then when I turned 30, I decided, like, you know what? It's time for me to finally do something, especially because after having babies, it was it. I felt I didn't have any control over anything. It's time to take something back, my health back. And so I started exercising more regularly. So I started running. I think we talked about this before, running, then I practiced yoga. And it was so interesting the way that translated into other aspects, some of the other dimensions, if you want to call it, of wellness. Because once I started exercising, then it made me want to eat right? Because what was the point of doing all this exercise and you were still putting complete trash into your body? So just making it more, just being more mindful of the things I was eating. Then when I was eating right, it made me want to, I started thinking about it more in a spiritual aspect, right? More spiritually and emotionally. And then it affected my mental health. And once that was right, it makes you start looking at your financial health. So it's just interesting the way that one plays into the next, into the next, into the next. But I think it's a constant journey. And so what about your wellness journeys? Anything that you would like to share about either one of you? From either one of you.
So, I mean, I'll go ahead and say, I've been on multiple wellness journeys. There has been the mental aspect when I was going through like a divorce and my kid moved away, you know, because your kid not being there is a big thing, right? Yeah. So I went through a lot there, and I had to focus in on what was important to me and what made me happy, so I could, you know, get there. And I went to therapy, everything. Then there's, of course, my physical wellness too. It's a few years ago. I was still married. I had been diagnosed with like high blood pressure, and I'm not somebody who likes medicine. Like my mom works in the medical field. My family has for years, so it's not like I don't trust doctors and stuff. I just don't want to have to take medicine and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm looking like, you know, God made this bioengineered machine, and He just put what is in there. I'm supposed to put water and food and sun, and like I think that's all I'm supposed to get, right? Yeah. So I go, and they're like, hey, you know, I was weight the heaviest I ever been in my life. You know, if you ever seen a picture of me at my heaviest, it's really shocking. Like, that's not the same dude. I mean, look like I was dying, right? I did. And then they told me I'd have to take these blood pressure pills for the rest of my life. That's what they told me. I was like, no, I won't.
Okay.
So that they told me that in like March. By the end of May, when I went back for my checkup, pull my stuff up, was like, oh yeah, you don't gotta take that medicine or anything. Your blood pressure is back normal. Look like your weight down. And since then, I have been on this journey to exchange certain aspects of my physical wellness completely, because it is a transition. Like if you look at a bodybuilder, they did not go and work out 1 year and get a bodybuilder's body. They had to work out for multiple years to build the muscle mass to be a bodybuilder. So I started that journey roughly 2.5 years ago, and I do fluctuate on my weight, but like my body mass has just been steadily growing, you know, over the last few years. So one of my biggest things right now is I'm secretly telling people, like, you know, I do weightlifting and bodybuilding.
I just love that you mentioned that it's a journey. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. The whole medicine thing, I think we don't talk about that enough, because when there's issues and whatever, and the doctor wants to put us on medicine, some of us are very quick to just be like, okay, let me just take it, instead of getting to like the root cause. It's treating a symptom as opposed to like, let's deal with what's really going on. So through diet and exercise, a lot of those things could be fixed, but we just have to know how to properly do it. And it's a journey, right? Yeah. It's definitely a journey. When I started on mine, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be long lasting, like forever. I didn't want to do something that was going to be a fad, and within the next 30 days, I will be done with it. You know, I wanted to like be a lifestyle for me. And so I love that you pointed it out. So that's what's up, E.
Yeah, and I mean, that was it. I mean, I'm the person that like, oh, you're gonna have this problem. Watch me not. And I'm about to go kill it. Like if somebody was like, you're an alcoholic, I'd be like, shatter all the glass and be like, watch me prove it. Like, watch me prove I'm not, right? Like, if somebody like that's just the way I am. I'm like, what? You telling me that I got a problem? I bet you I won't. And then I'll go attack it until either I got to come back and be like, okay, yeah, you're right, I got a problem and I can't solve it, or I need help, or I resolved it and I don't need no help. And I'm never gonna have this problem again, because I know how to not have it. I'm never gonna let something hold me all the way down, because I see myself being older and living this wonderful, happy life and being an inspiration to people. And in order for me to do that, I gotta work on who I am now, so I can be that old 70-year-old dude talking about, hey daddy. I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? I'm just playing.
So just went left.
I'm just daddy.
Pull up.
No.
Old man.
Okay. And with that, CT, please jump in. I know there's something you have to share. If not, just make it up so that we can.
He is the walking billboard of "Don't believe me, just watch." Like
he is. That's really good. That's really good.
Don't believe it, just watch. Hey,
just for you. Yes, just for you. I think Eric, you said it, and I just want to expand on it a little bit. I think in the context of wellness, it is the different elements of my wellness, because if my spiritual life is off, then it impacts everything else for me that happens. My physical is off, my emotional is off, my intellectual is off. So the
That's so true.
baseline of wellness for me, in terms of how all the other, if we're looking at the 8 that you described earlier, like the first one for me that holds them all together, it's almost the center of it, is the spiritual piece. And maybe by this month, maybe we'll tap into spiritual wellness and really what that is in people's lives. But I think it is important, and my wife reminds me that I am of an age that would require that I stay fit, because
Yeah.
as you do age, while you may get better mentally, while you may get stronger spiritually, sometimes the physical body, it don't do what it
Come
used to do.
on. Yes, right.
You don't wake up like you used to wake up. There's pains that just show up just randomly. I know there's people in the chat. I need y'all to testify the truth. I'm not the only one in this conversation that every once in a while, if I decided to do some weights the day before, the day after, or at least 48 hours, there are pains that show up that
Yes.
that weren't there 2 days ago, and now you're questioning whether or not you having a heart attack or something else is wrong. It's because you worked out the other
It's
day.
funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true.
Laugh at my pain. Thank you, Kevin. So I think when we start thinking about wellness, and even as we unpack this, this month together, there are different elements that I think are important. When they all work together, then it does become a way for us to define, or when someone says, "Are you well?" I can say that with a level of confidence, but not in confidence because I'm working out only, not in confidence because I'm eating well only,
Come on.
not because I'm going to a therapist only. Like when all of those things are coming together, you do find that you are, let me say it differently. I do find that I'm a better version of myself, and I'm able to accomplish the things with a level of efficiency and care and grace, because I am taking care of me.
Mm.
So yeah.
How do you know when things are out of balance? So you're saying that your spirituality is that foundation, right? And when that's out of whack, everything else kind of falls out of whack. How do you know when that is out of balance for you? What does it look like?
Confusion.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like distraction. It looks like lack of focus. It looks like exhaustion. Like
Yeah.
there are things that are byproducts of not being as specifically and strategically aligned. Again, this is Christopher on the spiritual side. What's interesting is that I'm never not spiritual. Like I'm always spiritual, and
Yeah.
I pray every day. I read my Bible every day. Right, the things that are real and rich to me. But when I go through certain seasonal changes, where big things are happening, and I need to make sure that if I've got to move faster, my body has to respond to that. If I'm needing to accelerate in my career, or if I'm accelerating in something that I'm doing, I can't eat what I used to eat all the time, right? There are some responses that, situationally speaking, when life, I love that title from us, y'all. When life starts lifing, like you
Yeah.
find out very quickly where you're not well. It'll show
You
up,
do. You
right?
do.
And it's in your eating, it's in your mind, it is in like
You
it'll
do.
show up. And so I think it is easier when you do have a level of self-awareness and you're honest with yourself about
Self-aware.
like what's really going on and what's not. And then
Mhm.
you got to be like somebody tells you can, and you be like, just watch, I'm gonna show you that I
Mhm.
can.
Yeah.
And not to
Right.
prove somebody else wrong, but it is to know that the only person that I can prove anything to is me. The only
Yeah.
person I'm motivating truly is me. But when I motivate me, others are motivated because of me.
Yeah. That's so true. E, what about you? Would you say any of the ones that we named are like call that out as your foundation, and when it's off, you know it's off and it looks a certain way?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say that. I mean, like CT, I mean, as much as I may not say it, I do pray every day, right? I'm rooted in my understanding and connection to in my faith, as well as I would say that a lot of times my emotional wellness is like that key part, right? because I'm a Pisces, right? And we happen to be emotional people. But if you understand your emotions, you can work to navigate scenarios where you can apply them appropriately or deny them appropriately, if I'm going to say a word for it. So I definitely think that it starts with my spiritual, but then it's like a combination of I feel good and I feel like I'm in tune with my spirit, and then my emotions are in control. Because if one of those two are off, then my foundation is going to be off and everything else, because then I may not be looking at me the right way. I may not be feeling, I might not motivate E the right way. I may not be in that, hey, watch me show you that I can do it attitude, because I may not have that balance that I typically have to go, thank you, God, for another day to be better. And then my emotional state is, you need to be better and it's okay. And then go out and go do those things to keep challenging myself. So if any of those two are off, I'm probably going to be sitting back or a lot more reserved than I typically would be.
Hey, Johnny, it occurred to me, that, even as I was listening back to episode 37, I believe it was, there was some commentary that I heard from our peer in the room. I would be curious, E, when you think about romantic wellness, relational wellness, how might your emotions impact those that level of wellness?
How do my emotions, or how I operate in my emotions, impact my relationships?
I appreciate that you responded, like you reframed the question. I love that.
I wanted to make sure I understood
it right. Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah.
I asked the way I did, and you responded the way that you did. I'm so proud of you.
I know. I mean, we do this. I would say that my emotional intelligence becomes a problem in my romantic relationships, because I am not easily swayed by just emotions alone. I am a logical person who will consider the emotions. I will calculate them into everything in my understanding. However, they are not going to be the truth that I can always operate in, because feelings do not equal facts all the time. And just because I felt some way doesn't mean that I should interpret it as the reality of it. I should check why I feel that way. And vice versa. When people deal with me and they're overly emotional, I cannot always resonate with the emotional states that they're in, because I don't feel the same way. So for instance, somebody stubs their toe and they go, dang it. They get all mad or whatever. And they're looking at the table going, I hate this table. I can understand why you're mad, but the table was there before you. So when you stubbed your toe and you decided to blame the table, I may not agree that the table is the table's fault. So you may not get me to connect with you and be like, oh yeah, bad table. I'll just sit idly by and show no emotion. And that can make somebody feel like I don't care that they stubbed their toe. But I didn't say I don't care you stubbed your toe. I'm sorry that it hurts, but blaming the table is not the result that I would do. And I'm not going to condone it or support that emotion, because it doesn't seem like it makes sense. But that's not to say that I don't think that you can feel that way. It's just that I won't be moved that way. So I mean, I'm not subject to emotional terrorism.
And listen, I asked the question, and one, it's a bit tongue in cheek, but at the same time, one of the things that I think is important for us to unpack, maybe not today, but in another conversation, Johnny, is the idea that sometimes our wellness is impacted by others, right? Someone else's insecurity, their instability, or something that's going on with them. If they are projecting on us, if we're not well because they're not well, now that we're less than well, right? Yeah. And I sometimes think about it as like a bank account. And that if I have deposits in that account, then there can be withdrawals made. But if there is I have a negative account balance in my account, and then somebody comes and their good intention is to give me something good. But Johnny, if I'm negative 100 and their good intention is 50, I'm still negative. And so sometimes in an unintentional way, because I'm empty, and somebody feels like their good intention is coming, I might actually be projecting something on someone else that's making them less well. And so there is a responsibility that we do have to recognize and acknowledge when we're not, and where it is, and then fix that thing. Because if you don't, the intention that may be good might actually be creating something that's causing the relationship that you're in to be less than it needs to be, or less than it could be. So I love, as we go through this month, to just unpack some of that as we think about how, like, if you're not well, like, you got to be able to acknowledge and recognize where it is, because you are having an impact on others, because you're not just, working in a world by yourself.
No, you're not. No, you're not. And that really hit home. Maybe just because being the wife and a mother, I often take on those emotions of everybody else around me. And it's a work in progress to understand, like, oh, that's not my bag to pick up. That's not mine to hold. Like, I can be there for support and, all those things, but because you're having a bad day, why am I taking that on? And that's not their issue. That's my issue. And I feel like I've really done a lot of work and continue to do a lot of work around my emotions, because like that's the thing for me. When my emotions are out of whack, when something is off, everything else is off. Everything else kind of falls apart there. Or when they're good, then everything else, I feel motivated. I feel I'm reading my Bible like I should, all of those things. I'm budgeting. I'm not. And so I feel like I've done a lot of work and continue to do that work. But that's one of the things that still gets me when it comes to that social aspect, those relationships, is making sure that I'm not taking on others' emotions as my own, and then trying to fix theirs. Like, that's not, because that's not my job to do that, right? My youngest daughter said to me, she said, sometimes I hate sharing what's going on with me because I don't want you to try to fix it.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you. And I'm like, well, that's my job to fix it. That's my role.
Actually, it's not.
It's on my resume. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do. And she's like, no.
It's funny, Johnny. Like, I felt the same way for a long time, because that was my job, as the father and the husband and all those things. Like, every time something was wrong, I go fix it. But somebody told me the story of the couple with the lady with the nail in her head, right? Where she comes home and she sits on the couch and she's sitting next to her husband, and like normal husbands do, she's like, hey, how was your day, honey? And she turns to him and she has this nail sitting right in the middle of her head.
Oh, yeah.
And he's looking at her like, wow. And she's complaining about the nail. She's just like, yeah, and then this nail, and it's stuck. And he's like, yeah, would you like me to get a hammer or something to pull it up? No, I just want you to listen. But the whole time, the husband is just focused on the nail, trying to solve the problem of the nail, because that's what he thinks he's supposed to do. No, his job was just to sit there and listen, because if he would have just listened, he would have found out that there really wasn't a nail in her head, or there was nothing, that she just had something pent up that she needed to get out. But he wasn't willing to listen. He just wanted to solve. And some people, like mothers and fathers, are so quick to just try to provide the solutions instead of literally just listen to people. And sometimes when we listen, they work those problems out themselves, and all we had to do was be the sounding boards. Yeah. So that was something I had to learn myself to go, oh, no, I got it. This is a you problem. You just want me to hear. All right, cool.
Well, okay. Let me sit with that for a second.
It's a you problem. That's what I'm saying. I can look at people.
I love to say it's a you problem when I got an attitude. I'm like, well, that's a you problem. But when it's different, when the context is a little different in that situation. So that's interesting. That's good. I needed that. I definitely needed to hear that. So over this month, y'all, these are the things that we're going to be talking about. This is just getting us kicked off a little bit so we can kind of level set and understand what wellness is to us, what it's looked like for us over, the course of our lives and how we're dealing with it. But we're going to unpack it so much more. We're going to talk about financial wellness because we have a special guest that is coming. And I'm very excited. Talk about money. We're just gonna wait till she comes, because that's another continuous journey. Gosh, it changes all the time. So anyway, financial wellness. We'll also talk about occupational wellness, because all of us, the reason why we know each other is from our place of work, right? And that's how our relationship developed. And I don't know. I think we got some lessons that we can share. Some lessons, some stories, some things that we can share and help the people out and keep them motivated in that occupational space for sure.
I cannot wait to tell the story of how me and CT met.
I don't know you.
I know it. I don't think I know it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Week 3, whatever that is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll talk more about the physical, emotional, maybe some spiritual. Maybe we'll do a combination of some of the other ones that we discussed too. But I think this is going to be a really great month, and we'll be able to unpack a lot and keep people motivated.
I love it.
So, E, I'm gonna pass it back to you, brother.
Thank you so much, Joni, my liege, for kicking off this wonderful topic of wellness this month. Again, these are the bar months, so I am so pumped so that we're going to address all of the necessary things to get us ready for all of the bar months. So,
libation wellness, is that what you said? Is that what you called it, libation wellness?
Well, I thought it was called liquidating your. I'm getting us in trouble.
Hold on, what's cousin?
I really sit there and listen too. That's what it is.
Oh, listen.
He gets me every time. He'll do stuff like this, and I'll just sit there like, what
do you want to do?
I'm gonna buy you a no button, Johnny. I mean, and you can press it right before he starts talking.
I need it, but I'd be so into it, I probably wouldn't even press it. I'd be like, "Well, what you about to
say?" I'm just saying though. Like, no, I definitely think that this is probably one of the things that we always should be talking about, and it's just timely, to make sure that we discuss all of the aspects of wellness, to bring it up, to let people know, like, this is something that has been developing over the course of our lives. We started with one concept of what life looked like. And as we've learned, to CT's point earlier, as we've learned to identify and diagnose and to really be able to not necessarily place labels, but understandings on things, behaviors, it allows for us to be able to progress forward and identify what progression needs to happen. Where are we lacking? What's the hold up? So it's a beautiful thing. And I think we're going to have a lot of great conversations with our guests and this stuff. So thank you, Johnny, for bringing this and leading this conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
So, with that, CT, what would grandma do about wellness?
So, in the spirit of season 3, grandma says, sit up in your chair and listen up. She got something to say. So grandma would say to everyone, if you want to get your wellness right, you must be well. That's what she's going to talk about today. You must be well. And grandma would say the be and be well is you must have balance in your life. You got to have the ability to know that you can't give 100% to everything that is your full-time job. Johnny, you are a full-time mother. You are a full-time employee. You are a full-time. You can't give 100% to all those things. So you must find the ability to, if you're going to be well, you must find some balance. How do you find that balance? Well, sometimes you have to make sure that if you are doing the E right, it helps you make sure that you're not too full while you are balancing, and that you must eat mindfully. Like you got to get your eating habits right. Now, I know Scotchwood Eat likes to make all kinds of eateries and culinary devices that make your palate melt. And yet there has to be balance in the way that when you think about if you need to be well, you got to eat well, and you got to think about what you're putting in your mouth. And then she would say, as you want to be well, the W is goal oriented in the fact that you must work towards some personal goals. See, sometimes you all work towards like career goals and you help other people achieve their goals. But if you don't work on your own personal goals, then how is it that you're going to know that the eating that you're doing in a mindful way is going to allow you to make sure you can create the balance that you need? So grandma says, if you want to be well, there's another E. You cannot do this one alone, Johnny. You've got to engage others. That's your other E. You've got to engage some other people, but you can't have folks who aren't going to eat well. You can't have folks that aren't going to have their own little goals. You got to make sure that you've got positive, strong people like the Easy Monday Motivation folks in the room. And when you engage with others in a way that helps you set those kind of personal goals as you're working towards them, because you're eating right, you find good balance. Now, one of the things, Johnny, that people miss oftentimes is the first L in Be Well, and that you've got to listen to your body. Like sometimes, I'm just gonna tell on myself. Sometimes when I'm eating, I know my body says you're finished, you're full, and I take another bite. Or it says you don't need that ice cream tonight, and yet ice cream sometimes makes the menu. And then that means I'm not being what? I'm not being mindful of what I'm eating. And what does that do? That throws me off of my balance. And then that means I can't work on my personal goals and make sure I'm engaging with others who I need to, because I'm not listening to my body. So that I must then do the last L. E, you got to love yourself. If you want to be well, you got to love you and align your actions to love you in a way that allows you to be able to hear when your body says stop, or when it says I'm hurting, because you are around others who are helping to push you in the right way, because you've set the right kinds of goals, because you put the right kind of things in your body, because you ate well. And grandma says it's all of that, and all of that, you got balance. So if you want to be well in this month of wellness, balance your life. Be mindful of what you eat. Work on your personal goals. Engage with some others who can make you strong. Listen to your body, and then love yourself. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you.
Thank you, Grandma. Be well, be well. That's the way we're kicking it off. We're going to be well. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like
that was
that.
lovely. I did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Specific instructions this year. Grandma's
Yeah,
not
she ain't playing.
but she got specific instructions. Yeah. We had to talk. It's not me and Grandma. Actually, me and Grandma had to.
Yeah, Grandma was like, "You out here using my name. You better put some respect on my name, boy. Put some respect on my name." When you go out there and say, "Grandma says," I want you to say, "Come here, boy, sit down and pay attention," because I don't do that. Come here, baby, no more. You grown. Grandma got it together. Oh, I know, right? Like, and Johnny, man, that's so crazy that like he said all of that. Because Johnny, what you got?
Still good.
Yeah.
It doesn't get old. I really enjoy it every single time. Oh my goodness. So the other day I was listening to a podcast, of course, with Brene Brown. And she was talking about she had a talk to do somewhere, like a really big presentation she had to do, and this whole thing. But she was feeling really, really bad, and she had been feeling bad leading up to it, mentally. She felt very like just depressed and worn out. And her sister says, "Do you tell the truth? How do you really feel?" And she says, "If I felt physically the way I do mentally, like I would be in the hospital somewhere. I would not be able to even get up and walk." She says, "Okay, you're not doing the show." She finally went to the doctor. Come to find out, she had like walking pneumonia. And it was because she was dehydrated, because she wasn't eating right, because, all these things, because she was actually physically sick. It was also affecting her mental health. It was causing that depression, and feeling really down and feeling really low, but she didn't even realize that she had walking pneumonia. And I was like, oh my gosh, how many of us are walking around feeling a certain way mentally? And maybe it's really because of the things that we've been eating. Yeah. Maybe it's because we haven't been exercising. Maybe it is because we do need therapy and medication and all of those other things. But CT, you said something that was so critical earlier. You said that it all works together. And it's so important for us to be self-aware, like you were saying, self-aware, so that you can kind of tap into it, because we're so on the go all the time and we're doing all the things, going down the list because we're so busy. But are we really taking time out to figure out what's going on and how we're feeling and the root cause of it, and not just kind of like putting a Band-Aid on it? So for me, that really resonated with me as kind of an eye opener to remind myself to check in, because although I feel like I have been doing my work and I do try to be physical and take care of my mental health and all of that, there are times where I let it go. And I have to revisit the things that keep me motivated, that keep me healthy, that keep me right. And so that's just a little something for all of us to just kind of keep in mind, right? To kind of check in with ourselves, and we don't always have to push through. I read something the other day on Instagram that said, women, we don't quit, or something like that. And I'm like, well, sometimes we need to quit. Like, let's not always wear that with a badge of honor. Sometimes you need to walk away and say quit. And we always like pushing for more and wanting to do more, but really there's a bigger issue happening. So let's remember to check in with ourselves.
I love it.
That's good.
All right. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, you got gems. All right, I got you. I just want to know, I just want you to know, you had told me at one point you would stop laughing at the Johnny what you got, and I've worked hard. No, I mean, I've worked hard to make sure that we get, I think we got like 30 something clips of you still laughing. And at some point we're going to chop them all up.
That was the last one.
No. Yeah, that's what you said the one time. And then we now added the one sound effect, which still makes you giggle. You don't think I can add something else? I mean, we're just going to keep doing it.
It's the record scratching that gets it every time.
You got to switch it up on her or something. Like you got to find a way to switch it up on her and then bring it.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna go see my man Terry, have him record something that he would say. They'd be like, Johnny, what you got? They'd be like, what you got, baby? Like, what's that? She's gonna be like, was that Terry?
Does the color Scarlet have a sound? Does the color Scarlet have a sound? Just
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So
I bet you don't. So I want to start with my from your AOC, from your AOC. I want to do the opposite of what everybody did and tell you that it's okay to say, oh well. And when I say oh well, I mean that there's going to be things that you don't do right and that you're going to struggle with, and that you're going to fail at wellness in many different ways, right? And while we set these bars on ourselves pretty high so that we can meet our goals, you have to be able to be okay with the fact that you're going to fail on your way up, right? And as long as you're falling forward instead of falling back most of the times, you can be okay. And then in the aspect of knowing that you have control over your wellness in some degree, there's going to be some things you got to let go. And to those things, you can say, oh, well.
Well.
Oh well.
So
that I did actually got that one. I did. I was like, oh well, okay.
Yeah.
So what? Who cares? Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh, that was saucy. That was no. Oh well.
Oh well. That one. Yeah, there's gonna be those times there's people that's probably gonna reach out to you tomorrow and be like, hey, can you do something? I cannot. Oh well.
I need hashtags. I need oh well hashtags.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
This feed, man.
Yes.
You know what's interesting though is that I can say that to other people. I feel there's been plenty of times where I've said that to like my kids or my sister or something's going on. I'm like, oh well, whatever. You just keep going and move on. But when it's me, I'm like, I can't sleep at night. I'm thinking about what I said, what I did wrong, and all those things, or I feel guilty about it.
That's good, Johnny.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I lived this because what was last week? I had something that went through meetings and stuff like that, and I got an email from my new manager, said some things, and I'm thinking like she may have some feedback for me. She may want to say something to me. So at first, I'm thinking to myself like she gonna say X, Y, or Z, right? So of course. The person that's me, who doesn't like getting in trouble, who's always trying to do the right thing, is trying to overcompensate because I'm worried about something that you know what she really did. She said, oh well.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big thing to her. So I started to create this thing, and then eventually I had to get to a place like if she really wanted to say something, she would. So oh well.
I promise y'all.
Yeah.
I know we've said it before. I know I've heard it before, but I feel like this one's saucy. Like this one's when you got a dish and you need to add some sauce to it, and you need to add more sauce to it. I think oh well, it, at least for me, is the running theme for the next month. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Am
well.
I good? If y'all hear me overuse this, I need y'all to say something. So if y'all hear me walking through the hallway and somebody says, instead of saying hi, I'm like, oh well.
Oh well. I'm like, see, I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think that's what he meant.
That's not what he meant. Oh, my bad.
Hey, hold on, wait. Y'all do see me walking through the hallway with my headphones on when people be talking to me. They're like, I didn't get to talk to you. You had your headphones. I'm like,
CT, the house is burning down. Oh well. Did you call the fire department, Eric? East Scotch.
I got headphones on right
now.
I've not had enough oh wells in my life. I'm probably
no.
I'm going to figure out. I need to find the oh well bank, and I need to make a bunch of oh well deposits.
Okay,
it's all right. Come on over here to Scotch and E. I got the oh well.
I need an oh well so I can be well.
I got the oh well behind me right here. Oh well.
Oh my gosh! Look, I got another example too. So earlier this week, I was like Jay had a doctor's appointment. By the time she would have got to school, she would have had one class to go to. And she said, do I have to go to school? I'm like, yes, you have to go to school, because here I am thinking I'm teaching her responsibility and all these things. And then I was watching a show. Have y'all watched Reasonable Doubt on Hulu?
Not yet.
Okay, it's pretty good. But anyway, she's a lawyer. She had been out because of some trauma. Then she went back to work too soon. Like, she was just doing the most. And her family was like, girl, what are you doing? And in that moment, I said, what am I doing to this 17-year-old? Because the appointment was downtown. The school is in Pickerington. Then she had to go to Easton right after for work. And I'm like, what am I doing? So it's kind of like that same thing you're talking about. Like, oh, well, she can miss this one class. Like, and y'all know what the class was? It was yearbook. It was yearbook. Why am I making her? What am I doing here? Thank you. Well.
This one requires the cousins. This one.
It does require the cousins. Yes.
Get one. Come on.
Oh well.
That's dope though. I mean, hey, I'm glad that sticks. Yeah. I mean, well, technically, that's how I live. I'm like, whatever.
Good chaos right there.
It is, because that's it. I mean, like, all right, whatever. I mean, because chaos you can't control. So, oh well, just keep it moving. All right. So
hold on. Just need to put this out there. Now, while I am a new user of oh well, it is possible that I could use it in the wrong context. So I just need to know that if I use oh well in my house the wrong way, that I got a bed to sleep in with Johnny or E, just like when I get asked to do something.
We got a room, because I forgot to fill in.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Oh well. Oh well. You want that?
Wait.
No.
Oh well works with things you can literally walk away from.
Oh, so I don't want to use
well. Not in that scenario. You ain't walking away from that.
If I want to be well, I can't use well.
Come on.
With my mail.
Come on.
Was that an E?
Yeah, that was it.
That was a bar?
That was nice. Yeah. Bar season.
I'm with you this month, baby.
I see it.
Let's
go. Okay. So, I mean, wonderful conversation. There's so much that, we can unpack here. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get a chance to listen to this and see what we done ran through for you, you're going to love it. And we wanted to make sure that we kick off wellness the right way. So with that, happy Labor Day. The end of summer. Get ready for fall is on us. I love fall, guys. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful time. Make sure you get out and enjoy some of the remnants of summer as it burns out. But let's go ahead and do our little round robin there. Are there any final thoughts? CT, I'm gonna come to you first.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that I've had a whale of a time on this pod.
Very good.
That's my final thought.
That was almost triggering. Johnny, final thoughts?
Yeah, to your story before. hey, I'm looking forward to this month. We're gonna have some great conversations, and let's get it. I'm ready.
All right, I'm with it too. My final thoughts is, guys, everything is going to be all right. We're going to have a lot of fun this season. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun this month because, again, we're going to keep saying this. It's bar season, and we're going to be dropping bars. You may see us at bars, and then who knows? We may raise the bar, and we may lower the bar. Who knows? All right, cool. So, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. As always, you can find us on Spotify and all of the places. Of course, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Make sure that you plug in, give us the 5 stars, give us the likes, shares, the comments, all of the interactions. We want the algorithm to kind of pull us out and pull us up like we needed to. So we will just be here like we always. I think our next episode might be live. So let's have some fun. Make sure you show up there. But until then, you can just chill until the next episode. Peace. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.